Hello, Rockies fans. Welcome to Rockies Recap. My name is Steven, along with Tom, for this late night edition of Rockies Recap. Glad to have you all in here to talk some Rockies baseball. Despite the recent trend for your Colorado Rockies, Tom, it's been a nightmare of a start for the, for the Rockies, which we'll get to tonight. But with everything that's going on in Denver sports, you might be wondering why I'm wearing a Nuggets jersey. Well, I went to my first Nugget game the other night. I talked about it on my first Steve Time show on 5280 Media, so go check that out. It's our first show for 5280 Media, so that's awesome. So we're starting to put out content over there. Um, but yeah, Tom, it's been yeah, like I said, it's been a nightmare for the Rockies. I feel like we haven't won in a long time, and I know we won. I believe on was it Sunday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Saturday night wearing the City Connects, which was awesome. But man, the Rockies just absolutely cannot find a break whatsoever, and it's not like their matchups are super difficult. I mean, they played the Nationals, who were coming into that series. Uh, not too great. They were a few games under 500. Same thing with Kansas City. I believe they're like 9-14, 8-14, heading into the series against the Rockies. The Rockies, they get swept. And it's not a good time whatsoever to be a Rockies fan. I mean, everything is going wrong. The offense is still off to a horrendous start. The Rockies still, for some reason, cannot get over 4 runs a game. And pitching wise, the starting rotation has been bad, but hasn't been great. The bullpen surprisingly has taken a step up, which is great to see given what the first week and a half of the season was. But man, Tom, it's a rough time here in Rockies Nation.
Yeah, the one thing you could say is this was somewhat a little bit more competitive than the national. Actually, I should say they're both kind of competitive. They're not getting destroyed or blown out in games because, again, all three of these games were by the 3 runs or less. It's just we've come out on the losing side of it, and but on the bright side, as I kind of pointed out to you, it's unlike going in today. The Chicago White Sox are the only team in baseball without a save, and they got one today. And
Hmm.
kind of the joke could be the game was called or a little a few innings early because of rain, so Mother Nature could have gotten the save. But anyway, I digress. So look at it that way, Rockies fans. That's that. I know it doesn't make us feel any better. We still have the worst record in baseball, and it doesn't help, obviously, given the recent news about change of hitting coach and other factors to go along with it. But you know, I know it is really tough. But hey, we're still here. We're still doing this because we love it and we love all of your support. So we're here to stay. Look at it that way.
Yeah, we're here to beat ourselves up, I guess, if you want to call it that. I
Boom
mean,
boom.
yeah, I mean, I will say this again. This is not a Nuggets podcast, and I briefly mentioned this on my Steve Time show today um, with my coworker. But it just when I went to the Nuggets game on Monday, man, I told myself multiple times, man, I wish this was a Rockies game. I wish this is how uh, I wish we were in the playoffs, right? For me to go, this was my very first NBA game, folks. Like this was my very first one, and to be a playoff game, and I know we lost by 3, but to feel the environment at Ball Arena, to feel the energy, the excitement of having a chance to play for something meaningful, and you're in again playoff atmosphere, playoff basketball. It can't get much better than that. And after I left Ball Arena, I was like, man, I got depressed, man. I'm still depressed because it's just like, what's the plan here for the Rockies? Like, is there any improvement and is there any signs of hope? And while we've seen little glimpses, like today, Jordan Beck, 3 home runs today, awesome to see that he's hopefully, Tom, turning around. But it's just we're stagnant. We're just staying right there. We're getting worse. I mean, we're worse than were last year. And we thought that hey, things were going to be getting better this year, but as a matter of fact, things are getting worse. And and as Tom alluded to, we just got a new hitting coach, which we mentioned last time. Clint Hurdle, came back, is coming back. He's back now. And the blame should not be going to Clint Hurdle now. Like, okay, well now we need to blame Clint Hurdle. It's not his fault, folks. It's not. And I think we all can agree that maybe it's not entirely his fault, but a part of it does I think, lean toward Bud Black. There needs to be a change because it's not working. And we saw that a week ago, a little over a week ago. It's not working. There needs to be another change because, like, what are we going to do, Tom? Are we going to go to, like, 5-40 before we make a change? Like, what are we going to do? Like, something has to happen. We can't be complacent. And I hate saying this because I love to be positive about my Rockies, and a lot of you guys know that who are watching this. I am a Rockies positive guy, but over the last week or so, especially since going to that Nuggets game, it's just like, what's the plan? What are we doing here? Like, we gotta like put a step down, like take a foot, our foot forward. We gotta say no. We gotta change things up, and fans have had it. We're tired of this. We want to see competitive, winning baseball. We want to see this thing turn around. And I know rebuilds take time, and I know that we want to see winning baseball right now, right away. And I know that's not going to happen, but still, we want to see something like, hey, we can be hopeful for that. We want to see Adele Amador do well, and he's not been doing hot whatsoever. I mean, he's barely hitting over 100, and that's not good to see. Zach Veen was struggling quite a bit, and he got optioned the other day down to Albuquerque. So it's just, what's going on here? What's the plan? Is there a plan in place? And if there is a plan, we need to do something about it to give hope to the fan base that, hey, we care about winning. We want to make sure that we have the right people in place. And I'm sorry, but Bud Black is not that person. Like, I feel like there
Mhm.
needs to be a change in that spot. And again, while it's not everything is on Bud Black, I mean, he's not the batters in the batter's box. He can't help the Rockies strike out less necessarily. However, he does make the lineup. But there comes a point where you say, hey, we need to have somebody else step in, change of scenery. We need to have a different look. But the Rockies are like, no, we're good. We're good with Bud Black. We still believe in Bud Black. It's just like, guys, I know you like Bud Black, but come on, we need to change things up. And you know, it's frustrating to see, especially again, as a Denver sports fan, seeing all these teams have success. The Avalanche are regularly in the playoffs. The Nuggets are in the playoffs every year. They've been in the playoffs every year since 2018. So it's just like, what are we doing here? And it's frustrating as a Rockies fan because we love our Rockies. I love my Rockies. Um, but ever since going to that Nuggets game, man, I've had almost a shift in my perspective. Like, hey, what are the Rockies doing? Like, are we trying to win baseball games? And right now, it's just like, I hate saying this, but I feel like the Rockies care more about getting people in the seats more than anything else than winning. Um, and I hope I'm wrong about that, but it's just like, there has to be a change, and hopefully that happens soon.
Well, I will say at least you have a team a professional sports team from the city in the postseason because
Hmm.
of Chicago, we have more teams. We haven't had one in about a year and a half. So look at
Mm.
it that way.
Yeah,
Well, Bulls are in the play-in tournament, but that's not the playoffs.
yeah,
I don't think that's the playoffs, and I don't think generally by definition that's not the playoffs. It's the seed to get into the playoffs. That's why people call it the play-in. But well, first of all, I want to address Lux's comment here. Yeah, you can't blame KB for taking the money, and I really wish him the best in terms of his recovery and rehab because honestly, it's it is what it is. Yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was doing some stuff for White Sox now, and I'm thinking to myself, the White Sox is just I'm looking at this team thinking, good gracious, it is kind of a bummer, especially considering the White Sox are just in the playoffs in 2021. It felt like 2018 for the Rockies was not too long ago, but it was almost 7 years ago. And it is kind of upsetting. And it really doesn't help when the guy who's batting third in your lineup is hitting under the Mendoza line at 176. I think last I checked was Ryan Max batting average. It's really unfortunate. It sucks. It's terrible. And I mean, the White Sox now, they had 6 guys before the season started have Tommy John surgeries. And again, I can go on with the examples here, but last thing I'll say here is I just remember this on foul territory. I think it was late last week. Jim Bowden, former GM of the Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals, was on foul territory. And they asked him, what would you do with the Rockies? Because they came up in a segment. I think it was Scott Braun asked the question. Jim Bowden said, well, he said, if I was the owner, I would come in and start over top to bottom. He said, Bill Schmidt is a great scout. He has a great eye for evaluating talent, which he does. He's fantastic at. Not to say he's a bad guy. It's just maybe he's not best suited to be the top tier GM, and it's understandable. He was an internal hire when Jeff Bridich got mutually part of the ways, but we all know that means you're fired. Um, and honestly, I gotta say, and from what he and everybody we've heard, the Rockies are one of the least progressive organizations. So if I was took over for Dick Monfort, I would kind of take the team in a different direction and start over with somebody new. And quite frankly, I think so. You know, Bud Black is well respected. He's a fantastic man. He's done great things for this team. But I agree. At some point, you need to part ways with him. It is time to move on because again, we're fed up. And even though the attendance is up, like as you pointed out, Stephen, we're not there to go this. We don't want to go to Coors Field for a social event. We want to go to watch winning baseball. We want to,
Mm-hmm.
and if we want to compete in this division specifically, something has to drastically change because otherwise, I think, quite frankly, you know, like it's like when you have like a bomb, you know, it's when you have like in a cartoon, you have the explosive, and there's that fuse that goes like like when Wile E. Coyote lights the fuse before it blows up, before it blows up and kills him instead of Roadrunner. Well, I think the lit fuse is getting close to to exploding, and the explosion is the Rockies fans' wits end.
Yeah, it's imminent. You can feel it already. I mean, I'm going to a Rockies game in 2 weeks, the Rockies and Tigers game at Coors Field. And by the way, Adam is going to the Reds game, I believe, on either tomorrow or Saturday. But yeah, I mean, again, while the attendance has been higher than I expected it to be like it is right now, especially with the Rockies record, it's going to dip even lower. And the Rockies, you know, they're again going back to the Nuggets game, man. When you're at a playoff atmosphere like the Nuggets, you don't see people drinking beer. You don't see them talking during the middle of the game. Like there's zero focused in on the game. They're watching the court. And where I was sitting, man, I was up in the upper bowl, like very very top. And while I still think that my seats were great, I loved my seats. I was zeroed in, man. I didn't care about where my seats were. I was just excited to watch playoff basketball. And as a fan, you really don't care. You just, as long as you're there watching the game and cheering on your team, and you know your team is having success, that's all that matters. Where I feel like a lot of people that go to Coors Field, they go there to talk with a friend or hang out with a friend, or you know. And then there's like these bars in Coors Field where you can watch a Nuggets game or an Avalanche game, and sometimes they'll do that to have like an opportunity to hang out with their fans and also to watch a Denver sports team that's not the Rockies. And so it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, you go to Dodger Stadium, right? You see that game every single night, packed out, loud. I mean, it's insane. I mean, it's probably the best baseball crowd in baseball, hands down, in my opinion. Maybe next to San Diego, they're great too. They're rowdy. They're watching the game. Um, where again, I guess I'll word it as a lot of frustrated Rockies fans say it. Coors Field is very much like a bar. It just people don't go there to watch a baseball game. And that's the sad reality of it, because if you go back to 2009, 2010, before you know, the famous rooftop bar in right field and on the third deck was built, how the right field stands, it used to be just, you know, kind of like what the current look is for the left field and right field lines, right? With the purple seats, and of course I think the rooftop still has those purple seats up there. Um, but yeah, I mean, you go back to when, for instance, let's just say Jason Giambi, when he got his walk-off home run against the Red Sox. You watch that video, man, and the crowd is loud. It's never been louder in Coors Field history. I mean, I get goosebumps watching it. Nowadays, it's just like, hey, Rockies hit a home run. There we go. It's just like there's no excitement in the Rockies fan base, because I think for a lot of fans, especially this year and in recent years, it's hard going to a Rockies game when you know that the team is going to lose, or more than likely going to lose. And again, I'm going to enjoy my Rockies game in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to wear my Rockies gear. But at the same time, though, there's going to be that level of like, man, you know, it's not going to be fun when the Rockies lose today. It's just like, I don't want to have that feeling, man. And it's sickening, it's tiring. And again, you experience it, you know, with the White Sox and the Rockies. So, I mean, we kind of both share it, but it's just like there comes a point where it's just like, man, I want to see playoff baseball. I want to see competitive baseball, but it's just like right now we're not seeing it. And I'm not saying it's never going to get better, but I think this is going to be a historically bad year, unfortunately, because I thought that there was going to be a chance the Rockies were going to turn around, improve off of last year, and win 70, 75 games. But I think they'll be lucky. Unfortunately, I hate saying this. I think they'll be lucky to hit 55 wins this year. And it just there's no as of right now, there's no hope in sight until something happens, until Bud Black goes, until some move is made to say, "Hey, we're trying to win. Let's shake things up a little bit." And because again, we already know the Rockies in their franchise history, they don't do a lot of crazy big moves. They're very, very oriented in the way they do things. And while sometimes that's not the worst thing, but at the same time, it can be the worst thing and very irritating to a Rockies fan base that has been starving for playoff and winning baseball ever since the team started. And we've had playoff seasons for 5 years. But again, it's just we got to see something change here. And talking about the series again, we're not going to go into huge detail, but hey, at least the Rockies, they weren't blown out. Game one was a little bit frustrating, especially in that last few innings. The Rockies played in extras, and the thing is, the Rockies, they just played bad baseball. They just on the base path, Moniak should not have been thrown out at third base. That was not good on him in extra innings. He got thrown out. I believe he wasn't stealing, but he was just tagged off at third base, or I should say picked off. But yeah, man, it just yeah, no, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Or game one. Game one was just frustrating to watch. It was just like, oh, this is hard. And then yesterday, or I should say today, in the double headers, because yesterday was rained out. In game one today, I thought the Rockies did pretty decently well in the first few innings. We were staying up with Cole Reagans, who, again, is a Cy Young candidate this year, and had a really elite season last year. Really carried this Royals team to the playoffs. And hey, we saw home runs from Hunter Goodman and Jordan Beck, his first of the day. But then after that, the offense just fell asleep, and then we give up 7 runs. Herman Marquez, who congratulations to him on 1,000 career strikeouts. So happy for Herman, but he's not had a good start to his year, and I think it's more of concern for his arm. Maybe he's not pitching up to where he wants it to be, or maybe he's trying to be too careful with his arm because he's had injuries, 2 injuries over the last couple of years, and so maybe he's trying to be too careful there. And then today, it was again. I didn't watch. I barely watched game one of today, and then I didn't even watch game two just because it's been super frustrating to watch this Rockies team. And hey, shout out to Jordan Beck again, 3 home runs in both games today, or combined, I should say. But yeah, man, it's just there comes a point where it's just like, man, it's hard to watch. I need to see something happen to this team to light a spark or do something. There needs to be a change. But again, I don't know if that's going to be coming anytime soon, but I hope so, Tom, because again, we want winning baseball, but it's just right now we're not seeing it.
Sorry about that. I had my mic on mute.
Oh yeah, good.
So sorry, everybody. How do I say this? I actually am not going to go too much into detail, to be honest. I'm giving my top 3 performances of the series. Number 1 is Herman Marquez. And real quick, if anyone bears with me, I just have to double check before I say what I was about to say. I had to be certain. I don't want to misquote anything. My apologies. Why can't I find? Okay, here it is. Yes. So yes, number 3 best performance is of course Herman Marquez once again dances his way into Rockies history, being the first Rocky starting pitcher to have 1,000 career strikeouts with the team, all with the team. So Herman, nice. If anyone who's watching, you see me do my little golf clap here. So congratulations, Herman, on once again being the first Rockies pitcher to reach that milestone. So again, congratulations to Herman. He did get knocked around a bit today in game 1, but beside the point. Second best performance I would give to Jordan Beck with 3 home runs in the series, 2 in 1 game. And of course, as you mentioned, hey, the one that your mom's favorite player, Hunter Goodman, hit was a blast. He definitely got a hold of that one. So just an honorable mention I'll give you. But Jordan Beck, who was it? Lux, I think in the comments said, should I wait? Oh, I can't find it. Yes, he said, let me see if I'm sure. Sorry, real quick and see if I can find it. Lux, sorry, I'm looking for your comment here, my man. Where is it? Steve, I'm not sure you can find it. Oh, here it is. I got it. It's Lux. Should you start the Jordan Beck fan account? I suppose whatever floats your boat. Remember, there's a couple different ones. I've seen Ezekiel Tovar.
Yeah,
There's Bretton Doyle fan account. So Lux,
yeah,
if you do, we will.
yeah,
I will definitely give you a follow on that one.
yeah.
So
That's
you
off
can
to Lux, man. He's been faithful in the comments here. You gotta love Lux for that. Shout out
Lux,
to you,
and definitely you are definitely creating quite a few topics of conversation here, man.
Lux.
And my number one performance series, Ryan Felton. I gotta tell you,
Yeah, man.
in
Yeah,
game one of the series, he was just again,
Dom.
even and people are saying, "Oh, it's only 4 strikeouts." He's not a strikeout pitcher.
No.
He was very precise in game
Yeah.
one of the series. He was hitting his spots, especially down the zone, forcing on the ground. He did get off his only mistake was the one home run. He did navigate around that one walk that he had. But honestly, that was fantastic. His ERA is now below 4 at 3.86. So Feltner, again, I think knock on wood, I think he could be one of our. He's definitely could make his candidacy for the All Star team again. 4 strikeouts is not quote unquote sexy, but
Yeah.
and again, everyone watched me give the air quotes. But he's been very good so far this year, and like last year, he was. You could say one of, if not our most consistent starting pitcher, and he definitely given the uncertainty of Kyle Freeland, he could be that again this year. So it's good to have some stability. The one thing I do want to talk about is I didn't get a chance to watch his post game interview in the locker room in the clubhouse with the media.
Mm.
I think Dolander's fine. His head is still there and good. I just think he just needs. I think what I was seeing with him in his start was he was getting maybe a little too amped up. He was, when you're trying to locate your pitches, you tend to overthrow, you tend to overstride, and you just are missing to your glove side, and you're just kind of missing around the zone. So I would just tell him if I could get in his ear, just listen, just let the ball go and just let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point for him, it's not about trying to be the best. It's just about trying to be consistent. And the best way to be consistent is to have a clear headspace and just throw the baseball and know what you're capable of. Because we know
Yeah.
we know what he is capable of. The question is, he just needs to he just needs to go out there and have that confidence that we know he has. And and at least so far he hasn't tried dancing or he tried pitching around too many people, and he hasn't had like a start where he just had a miserably awful inning, I guess you could say. And by miserably awful, I mean four or more runs.
Yeah. Yeah. Let loose, man. Let loose. Like, just be you. And I like his strikeout stuff. Like he's just like that bulldog on the mound. And again, his ERA not pretty to start his career, but man, like, just be a bulldog on the mound. And I thought he didn't pitch all that bad today. Again, he's a rookie. This is his first time in the big leagues. He'll be fine. And again, that strikeout to Bobby Witt Jr. today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was 99, and it looked like he barely played. I mean, it was almost like a toss, and that was 99. I'm like, there's no way. And I think I saw that on what was that? What was that guy's name? The ninja guy on X. I forget his name.
Pitching Ninja.
Pitching Ninja. Yeah, shout out to him. I love his videos. But yeah, he showed he showed the clip of Dollander striking out Bobby Witt. I'm like, that's like Dollander just like tossed that. It was like 99. Like he dotted it with no effort. And so Dollander can definitely hit. I think he's going to hit 100, 101, 102 maybe in his career. Once he works his way up, like his pitch count and his speed. I will say, I don't think speed is everything. I think just movement is more important. But man, like that was really good to see from Dollander today.
Just one comment I want to make. I like that he's setting the fastball up in that at bat specifically to try and get him with the fastball. But I would love to see him also work more in with don't be afraid to go inside with the cutter to left-handed hitters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And shout out to Bretton Doyle, man. I thought for him to come back from what he had experienced, what his family had experienced. I thought he did, again, we're not going to rail on him. Again, coming back and, getting your mind right, getting back into the game. And he's still hitting decently well, slightly, I believe, under 300. I think it was hitting 300 heading into the series against the Royals. Actually, it's right on the money, 300 right now. So his OPS is 864. Did get a knock today. So the Rockies had 9 hits in the third game today. So I mean, shut up, and he got a walk too. So Doyle right now, man, he's the Rockies' best player on the team, and we're just eagerly waiting for Tovar to come back, Tom. And we really miss Tovar because we need a guy like him, and especially, I feel like he's not been talked about much because he's been hurt since the start of the season. Is Tyro Estrada,
Mhm.
who we probably our most excited signing in the offseason, has yet to play a game. And what's one thing that's really interesting is that we have yet to hear any updates on him. Like, is there going to be a rehab? What's going to happen? And I feel like it's been at least 4 weeks since he got hurt. I might be wrong about that, but it's been, I think, a little over 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see what's going on there. If anybody has any updates, let us know. If you know anything, if you're a Rockies insider, let us know. We'd love to hear uh, what you have heard about that. But man, again, the Rockies, they need more offense, and again, it's somewhat to be expected. I mean, this is a younger team, a younger lineup now. I will say though that Nick Martini had a really good start. Now he's really starting to cool off. He's hitting now 255, still not
Mhm.
bad, but he's just not barreling the baseball, as you would say. Um, and let me see here. I don't think Farmer played in Game 3, but Sean Bouchard, his average is starting to get low. And by the way, not necessarily a knock on Sean Bouchard, but I necessarily don't like Bouchard in the outfield. His defense is not good. We've seen him multiple times. I think he's committed at least a couple errors this year. And there was, I think, that fly ball was it right field in Game 1, where I thought maybe he had a chance to dive for it, but let it go in front of him. I feel like he should have gone for it, but again, I'm not Bouchard there. Um, and then of course we talked about Ryan McMahon briefly before we started. Tom, what has happened to our Ryan McMahon? Because he is hitting at the moment 176, and he had 3 more strikeouts to his total. So it's just like, man, his regression has been severe, and now to the point where should the Rockies make multiple trades at the deadline, which they honestly should, that's going to hurt McMahon's trade value because I mean McMahon still has, I believe, another year or two on his contract of his extension, but it's just like that is not good to see because the Rockies really need McMahon because this guy can hit doubles, he can hit home runs, and he's when healthy and when he's hitting, he's one of the best Rockies hitters on the team. And I mean, again, he was an All-Star last year for a reason, right? And he was the best player for the Rockies in the first half. And yeah, he's been horrible. That's putting it lightly. That's putting it kindly as well. Hunter Goodman, he's been good to see. 237, but again, hit a home run in Game 2 that went over the wall. I believe that was his. I think that was his third or fourth home run of the year. Um, and then Jordan Beck, he's starting to heat up now, which is awesome. Now hitting 250 with 3 home runs on the season. And then Michael Toglia, I think he's starting to, get a little bit more comfortable at the dish. But again, you look at the OPS, 483 on the year from Michael Toglia, so not good there. And Amador, did get a knock, but he's hitting 130 on the season. So there's a bunch of these players, Tom, that are having really cold starts to the year, and we hope that heats up soon. And as the weather gets warmer, hopefully the bats do as well. And then Aaron Schunk. Aaron Schunk has surprisingly been one of the better Rockies hitters over the last week or so. He's hitting 294 currently with a 647 OPS. And so that's again, that's good to see for Schunk. He's getting playing time. But again, for instance, today in the finale against the Royals, the Rockies were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and that's been an issue. I don't know how long, probably since Nolan Arenado was with the Rockies, and so it's just the Rockies. They need ball players, man, and hopefully that the Rockies have some of those in Brent Doyle, Tovar, and Beck here, and others as well as they get molded into this lineup and play every day. And that's what we want to see over here at Rockies now. We want to see these guys. We want to see the young kids play every day, every day. And I like how Adam alluded to it, is that people don't want to watch Nick Martini and Cal Farmer. We want to see the young kids play. So, and it's been nice to see that the Rockies have been giving playing time to Aaron Schunk, obviously with Tovar hurt, and Amador has been playing a little bit. When Cal Farmer hasn't been playing. And Goodman especially. He's been playing almost every single game, which is awesome. So keep doing it. Let some of the other kids play as well, and we want to see some of these young. And it's going to be a difficult challenge for them, right? I mean, they're young kids, they're rookies. A lot of them are rookies or their sophomore years. Let them develop, and again, it's going to be tough, but we'll see what they got. But yeah, it's definitely a growing stage for a bunch of these prospects. And is it going to get better? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So that's kind of what's going on for right now for the Rockies. Coming up next for the Rockies in this series, starting tomorrow, the Rockies will be home for, I believe, a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds at Coors Field. So Adam will be going to, I believe, either tomorrow or Saturday's game. I think Saturday.
I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, and that's a day game, so 1:10 at Coors Field. So hopefully that should be a good game. And again, Adam went to a day game, and it was the finale. I think it was the Chase Dollander debut game, and the Rockies won that game. So hopefully, Adam, if you're watching this, please give us some good luck for Saturday's game, because this Rockies team needs it. Yeah,
he will get to see Hunter Green pitch.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if the Rockies win on Saturday, I think we should all sign a petition for Adam to buy season tickets to go to.
No, the Rockies should give him season tickets.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think Adam would want to, approach them and say, "Hey, I want tickets." Maybe the Rockies should approach us to get season tickets for us to watch the season. And the Rockies start the season off with a 4-20 record, which is the worst in baseball. I think that's going to about wrap it up. Again, thank you all so much for commenting. Lux, thank you for being in the comments tonight. If you're watching on X, we appreciate you. If you don't subscribe to us here on X or YouTube, feel free to do so. We just recently passed over 900 followers on X, so shout out to you guys. And then on YouTube, we're growing over on YouTube as well. And we've been getting a lot of people coming in, which is great. And then on Instagram, we have over 5,100 followers. We've been growing over there as well, which is awesome to see. So again, if you don't follow us Rockies Now, we would love to have you a part of the community and a part of the Rockies family, and be an awesome part of a bunch of Rockies fans that love their Colorado Rockies. But yeah, Tom, any more comments here before we end tonight and head into the Red Series?
Well, Evans, thank you for the message. I'll reply to your last. Thank you for the message. Coach, you want tickets? Thank you for sending me that Joe Theismann helmet. I'll reply to your other comment too, by the way. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. In terms of the Red Series, like I said, Lux, of course, eloquently points it out. We're cooked that we're facing Hunter Green. That we're facing Hunter Green, and hey, if we try to use his power against him, I think we have a chance. So no one's as we've seen before, no one with power with a triple-digit fastball is necessarily invincible. So we'll see if we can get to him anyway. Maybe Rymack will take him deep twice.
I like to see that. Yeah,
that's a hot take. Anyway, I just thought I'd get a little daring. Yeah. Anyway, hold on, I'm just double checking Well, it's good. I guess there's a little bit of game one, so we won't have to send Freeland to an IL stint because he is pitching game one. And so it's kind of funny. It's Hunter Green versus Antonio Senzatella in game two. Boy. Well, it's just kind of funny. You got basically polar opposite kind of approaches. Hunter Green is the triple-digit fastball strikeout guy, whereas Senzatella is the, economical ground ball guy.
Wizard.
You're something. Yeah, there you go. That's what I put it.
Yeah.
Wait, Lux, when you say Saturday is Dante Bichette, what do you
I think it's for the T-shirt, and I think he's throwing out the first pitch. Yeah, I think it's an honor for the first Rockies game at Coors Field?
I don't know.
I think so, because I want to say in 1995 the Rockies had to start their home season, or they had to wait for their first home game a little bit later on, because I think they were still setting up they were still finishing up construction or whatever at Coors Field, and they had to get ready. So I think that's what it is, if I remember correctly. So again, if somebody knows about that, let us know. Because I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think the Rockies' first game was whatever days, Saturdays. So it would be the 26th. Yeah, 26th.
Real quick, I'm gonna see if I can find this, and maybe if I do, I'll post it. Somebody, I can't remember what page I saw it on X. Somebody said, "Who has a better mullet, Larry Walker or Dante Bichette?"
100% Dante Bichette.
I gotta find that. I gotta do a search. If I find it, I'll post it on the page. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll make our own little post for that.
Okay. Let's point it out in the comments. 30 years of Coors Field. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, 30 years of Coors Field. Okay.
Thanks, Lux. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Anyway, but yeah, so again, to the Kansas City Royals, you're welcome. Hopefully, you can launch yourself into winning the AL Central because I picked you. Come
yeah,
on, let's. I'm betting. I'm
yeah,
betting on you. My prediction. In our prediction challenge,
yeah,
you guys. I'm depending on you guys.
yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, this should be a hopefully a more enjoyable series. Maybe we can scratch out a win this one. Especially, it's good that we're back home. Uh, but I gotta say one quick thing. To knock in 100 green. Remember, especially at Mile High, not everybody that triple digit fastball is not
Hmm.
invincible. You know,
Yeah,
it can float a little bit. So let's see if we can take advantage of some of
yeah.
his mistakes.
Hmm.
Other than that, um, we're back home. Let's do this.
Yeah. Let's try to win some baseball games despite the 4-20 record, which I don't get why people were making fun of that record in the comments. Maybe it's just like a reference that I forgot I didn't mention.
Oh, quick, Lux. Thank you for the third option of Charlie Blackman.
Yeah,
Let's
Charlie
let's
Blackman.
do
There we go.
let's give everyone three choices.
There we go. There we go. Well, folks, again, stay tuned for Rockies content. We're rolling out content every single day, lineups, game days, all that good stuff. And then, of course, Adam is still working on Ready to Rock, so that should be coming out soon. Um, okay, okay. We're not going to post it. Well, should we? I don't know. We'll just say that.
Let's no,
Yeah,
just, well,
why don't we do it? Why don't we do it for Lux, man? So
let's
420 is that we don't want to get flagged by YouTube, but you see the comment there. You see the comment there. So we're trying to keep it a little bit. I guess you want to call it PG friendly here on YouTube.
we just don't want to get flagged. That's all.
We don't want to get flagged. So yeah. Anyways, again, follow us at Rockies now. Again, good stuff coming up, and again, we're going to try and see if we can see if the Rockies can pick up some momentum, man. Because again, we don't want to see the Rockies, 5-30. We don't want to see the Rockies lose like 9 out of 10 games or whatever. Because and another thing we'll mention, because again, we got to head out of here. The Rockies have now lost 12 consecutive road games, which is I think the second worst in their franchise history, which is again a big, large black eye to this team. And it's just like, man, we need that to end. And hopefully, the Rockies pick up some of that momentum. But as of right now, it's just like it's hard to see how we're going to do that, especially when it's just like it's hard. We're playing against decent teams. I mean, coming up, I mean, the Reds are no team to, I mean, they're 12-13. While it's not pretty, they have a new manager. They have a really good lineup, a really good player by the name of Ellie De La Cruz, which terrifies me. So I mean, I am a little worried. So, but again, you never know. Maybe the Rockies can do what they did last year when the Rangers came to town and we swept the defending World Series champions, and the Rockies went on that was a 7-game winning streak last year, and they swept the Padres well. And the Padres were playing good baseball last year to start the season, so you never know. So, but again, I probably jinxed it by saying that, so I apologize, folks. And if the Rockies do get swept by the Reds, you can go shout at me on Instagram or whatever, and you can unfollow us. And actually, no, don't unfollow us. You can just yell at me whatever you want, and I'll take it. It'll be my fault. So, but do not unsubscribe.
Don't blame yourself. It's
Yeah.
there's worse thing. There's other people we can blame.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who we should blame, Tom. Who should we blame?
The universe.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
It's like
they hate Denver sports. Obviously, they hate the Nuggets. They hate the Avalanche. They hate the Broncos. Again, it's a podcast for a different.
I'll use the South Park reference. You know what we could do? We just blame Canada.
There you go. There you go. And by the way, I can't wait for the World Baseball Classic next year. That's gonna be awesome.
I think real quick comment on that. I think it's fantastic. Two things. I think it's fantastic that Mark DeRosa is the manager. He was fantastic the last time. And number two, I think Aaron Judge is a perfect choice. Is a perfect choice for captain.
Absolutely. And I think we're hoping that. Oh boy, we got Evan saying that he's Canadian. Oh,
sorry.
Man.
Well, Evans, Evans, I'm not saying exactly Canadians. I'm just saying like the song from the movie Playing Canada. That's the so it's not against you. It's not a referendum at you. It's a referendum at the song from the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not you. It's not you. It's not Canada itself. I'm just talking about I'm just quoting the movie. That's all.
Yeah. I agree with Lux. It would be really awesome to see Tovar play for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. I believe he's from Venezuela.
Who? I'm sorry.
Tovar.
Oh, yes, he's Venezuelan.
It would be awesome if he, as Lux points out, be in the World Baseball Classic.
I think the shortstop in the last one was it wasn't Altuve. Darn. Oh, was it?
Was it?
Was it?
It wasn't Ahmed Rosario, was it?
No, no, I think it, no, Lindor's, I think he's from the DR.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look it up. I don't
Yeah,
recall off the top of my
yeah,
head.
yeah. Oh, Baez. Was it Baez? Javier
No,
Baez?
he's from Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, that's right. There's a bunch of guys that are kind of confusing there. But anyways, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up. Again, thank you guys for coming on in for somewhat of a later podcast tonight. Apologize for being a little bit later for y'all, but man, despite what's going on with the Rockies, I hope you love the Rockies as much as we do. Again, try to support the Rockies despite what's going on, and again, cheer for the Rockies. This, again, like despite the record and what the team might be playing right now, still have that Rockies hat, have that Rockies jersey, and love your Rockies in your heart. You might be frustrated like I am, but still deep inside, you're still a Rockies fan, and hopefully that's the case. But again, stay tuned. Again, thank you, Lux. Thank you, Ethan Evans, for coming on in for the show tonight. We'll be back for the Rockies recap, I believe, on Sunday
Mhm.
when we do the Rockies and Reds recap. Have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Rockies.